everybody. Welcome to a special episode of the SCU show. I'm your host, SCU, and this week, again, like I said, very special episode because mock draft. I have my first round mock draft right here, right in front of me. By the next time we see each other, next Friday, we'll have the first round already done, and therefore, I decided let me do a first round mock draft and let's see how this works out. So here we go. First round mock draft here on the SCU show. Let's go. Number one. I think it's obvious at this point, Joe Burrow to the Bengals. I think that's inevitable. I don't think it works out because, again, I don't like Joe Burrow. Last week, I ranked him as the 6th ranked quarterback on my list out of the 7 quarterbacks that everybody talks about. And that, everybody loves Joe Burrow. I'm not saying Joe Burrow's not a great quarterback. I just don't think it's going to work out because Cincinnati's such a mess. They don't have the right head coach. I just don't think it works out. But nonetheless, Joe Burrow, first overall pick. I don't think you can really question that at this point. Number 2, I think the Redskins take Chase Young. There was a report from Stephen A. Smith that the Redskins are all in on Chase Young, and that's who they are going with. There were talks that they could go Tua, but it's not going to happen. It's going to be Chase Young going to the Redskins, number 2. Number 3, the Lions, Jeff Okudah, the cornerback from Ohio State. I think it's the right pick because they need to replace Darius Slay, plus they'll have him alongside Desmond Trufant in a division where you have to go up against Aaron Rodgers twice a year, as well as Kirk Cousins twice a year. So that'll be something. Jeff Okudah, number 3. Number 4, Isaiah Simmons to the Giants at number 4. The linebacker from Clemson, I think it's a nice pick. It's a very fast linebacker. I really like him. So we'll see how he does. I think the Giants could use him on defense. They already have a nice Pretty Nets offense with Daniel Jones and all those receivers that they have coming back from last year who are always hurt. We're all hurt. So Isaiah Simmons at number 4. Number 5, Miami. Yeah, they're taking Tua. It's inevitable. They're taking Tua. And then if they don't, it's going to be a big shock to everybody, including the Dolphins fans. I think even Stephen Ross would be shocked if he doesn't take Tua. I don't think, who else are they going to take? Justin Herbert? Maybe. I don't think they do that. I think they stick with Tua. I have him sit behind Ryan Fitzpatrick this year. And then there you go. You have Tua at number 5. Number 6, the Chargers take Justin Herbert. I think it's a great pick. A lot of people, including myself, think that Tyrod Taylor's not the guy for the Chargers. I think that they should go with Justin Herbert, a West Coast guy, knows the West Coast offense. So I think that would be a real nice fit for next year, maybe even this year, because even what happened with Tyrod Taylor the last time he was a backup. The last time he was starting with a first-round quarterback right behind him, he got benched, and that was Baker Mayfield back in 2018, and that only took 3 weeks. So maybe Justin Herbert will see himself start in LA this year. But either way, I think the Chargers take him number 6. Number 7, the Panthers. And I think they take Kenneth Murray, linebacker of Oklahoma. They need to replace Luke Kuechly, who retired. So I think that would be a very nice addition to their defense. They already have a nice offense coming for them. They just signed Robbie Anderson to a 2-year deal. They signed Teddy Bridgewater to a 3-year deal. A lot of interesting stuff coming for the Panthers. Number 7, they take Kenneth Murray, linebacker, Oklahoma. Number 8 is the Cardinals. I think they need to take an offensive lineman. Because obviously Kyle Murray was running for his life all year last year. And the top offensive lineman in my book is Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas, the lineman from Georgia, I think is the best lineman in the draft. I saw a lot of film on him. I really like what I saw. And I think that Arizona would be smart to take him at number 8. No doubt about that. Number 9, Jacksonville. A lot of people think they should take a quarterback just in case of what happens with Gardner Minshew. I don't know. I don't think that they take a quarterback at number 9. No, I think they take a defensive end at number 9, Derek Brown. They had to replace Calais Campbell. I don't know why they got rid of Calais Campbell in the first place. I don't think the Jaguars know why they got rid of Calais Campbell in the first place, but they got rid of him. So I think they had to replace him with Derek Brown, a defensive end, at number 9. Number 10, Houston. Cleveland, Josh Jones, the lineman from Houston. I think they should take him. I've said this before, I'll say it again. There's no excuse for Baker Mayfield this time. They have the receivers, they have the 2 tight ends, they have the running back. They got everything. And then they go ahead and they get an offensive lineman to protect Baker. Then there's just, again, no excuses. Especially if we get Josh Jones, who I think is a very talented old lineman from Houston, number 10. Number 11, the Jets. Oh, Lord, the Jets are a dumpster fire. I think they should take a quarterback, but they're not going to. They're not going to dump Darnold for another 2-3 years, maybe. So I think they should go get him help. Go get him a receiver. They just got rid of their number 1 receiver, Robbie Anderson. Go get Jerry Jeudy. He's the top receiver in the draft, and the Jets need a receiver like nobody's business. So I think they have to go take Jerry Jeudy, the top receiver in the draft from Alabama, at number 11. Number 12, the Raiders. I think they take the second best receiver in the draft, who everyone thinks is overrated, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma. But my friend told me he like that CeeDee Lamb can't get open. I think it's the fact that CeeDee Lamb is great after the catch. He could break defenders. He could break off defenders, break off coverage. I've seen film, but he's very fast too. Not only that, he's very fast. And I think with him and Nelson Aguilar and Jason Witten, and you have two quarterbacks that can do very well for them, I think the Raiders are set up for success this year. Maybe not to win the AFC West, but if they get CeeDee Lamb, they'll be set up for success. So number 12, I think CeeDee Lamb goes to the Raiders. Number 13, the Niners have the pick from the Colts. Henry Ruggs III, another third straight receiver taken, a second one from Alabama. You got to replace Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel Sanders didn't do too much for the Niners last year, but you need a receiver, especially if you have a quarterback like Garoppolo. His top guy is George Kittle. George Kittle's a tight end. You need a top receiver, and I think that would be a great addition for them to take Henry Ruggs at 13. Number 14, the Bucks. They just got Tom Brady. They have Mike Evans. They have Chris Godwin. What are they missing? A running back. And I think they go ahead and take DeAndre Swift out of Georgia. I think they definitely need a running back because Ronald Jones, he's okay. He's average about 4 yards a carry. I don't think he's your guy. DeAndre Swift is your guy. He's a very fast running back. Find the open holes in the offensive line. I think it's a perfect fit for him down there in Tampa at number 14. Number 15, the Broncos need a receiver. Everybody's so hyped about Drew Lock and everything. And, I do buy it right. As of right now, I do buy the Drew Lock hype. I do. I will buy it. However, I think they need a receiver, and I think they'll go get Justin Jefferson from LSU. One of the best receivers in the draft. Another talented one, and I think him and Drew Lock would make a really nice duo in Denver, especially if you're going up against Kansas City and the Raiders, if they get CeeDee Lamb, all these. The Chargers have a really stacked team, so Denver needs a receiver, and then they'll be up there with the other teams in the AFC West. Number 16, the Falcons need to replace their defensive end. I think they go A.J. Epinesa from Iowa. He's talked about so often. He's very talked about in this draft, and I think the Falcons are a perfect fit for him, and I think they really need him. They really need a guy like that on their defensive line. Their offense, it's already pretty stacked. They did get rid of Austin Hooper, but they still have Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley. They signed Hayden Hurst. They have 10 former first-round picks on that team now. 10 former first-round picks. So there's a lot of expectations for the Falcons. Not from me, but from the media in general. And I think A.J. Epinesa from Iowa, the defensive end from Iowa, would be a very nice addition to their defense, from number 16. Number 17, I'm not a Cowboys fan anymore. I'm not a Cowboys fan anymore. I renounced my fandom a while ago, but I still do think that the Cowboys are in contention for the NFC East title, and a lot of my friends keep telling me, the Eagles are going to win the division. They have no offensive coordinator. Carson Wentz is always hurt. They don't have a top receiver now. Deshaun Jackson is their top receiver. He's always hurt. As for the Cowboys, though, they got rid of Randall Cobb. They got to replace Randall Cobb. They got to have someone alongside Amari Cooper. Well, how about T. Higgins from Clemson? That's a perfect fit for them. I think it would be a great addition to their offense and have Dak prove the Cowboys why he deserves a long-term deal. And I said that a few weeks ago, the Cowboys should sign Dak to a long-term deal. And having T. Higgins at number 17 to the Cowboys, that would prove a lot. That would help Dak out a lot, definitely, absolutely. Number 18, the Dolphins have a pick from the Steelers, and I think they get a receiver as well. Denzel Mims, a wide receiver from Baylor. I liked him. He had over 1,000 receiving yards, more than 10 touchdowns. I don't have these stats in front of me, but I do remember reading up on that. And that's why I had him going there. Again, you got Tua. You your franchise. What we're all hoping is the franchise quarterback for them. And you have Francis Patrick. So if the Dolphins want, now that Brady's gone, the Dolphins need to find something besides Devontae Parker to help them be in contention for the AFC East, at least for this year, until next year when they blow up the AFC East with Tua. So I think at number 18, they go ahead and take receiver Denzel Mims out of Baylor. Number 19, the Raiders have the pick from the Bears. This is where the Bears got Khalil Mack from the Raiders, and this is the pick that the Raiders got from the Bears. And I think they take Xavier McKinney, the safety from Alabama. Now, the Raiders have stacked up their defense, and I think they just continue to do so because, I mean, they need to stack up that defense. You got, who knows what Tyrod Taylor is capable of. You have to obviously go up against Patrick Mahomes twice a year. That's big deal. And then you have Drew Lock, who's, again, everybody's buying stock on him. I might be doing the same myself. We'll see what happens. But you definitely need some help there in the secondary. Xavier McKinney, safety of Alabama, to the Raiders. Number 19. Number 20, the Jaguars again. And here's another talented guy. Very talented guy out of Florida. C.J. Henderson. They just got rid of A.J. Boye, which, again, another move that the Jaguars, you're scratching your head. What are you doing? You got rid of A.J. Boye. He's a very talented corner. Go replace him with C.J. Henderson. C.J. Henderson is a very talented corner. Out of Florida, that would be a nice fit for them in Jacksonville to replace A.J. Boye at number 20. 21, I talked about the Eagles. They have no receiver. They have Deshaun Jackson, and that's pretty much it. I think they have Greg Ward, who was a quarterback at one point. At two different, he was a quarterback at Houston, as a quarterback in the Lions. Yeah, I think they go get Brandon Ayuk, the wide receiver from Arizona State, another very talented receiver. Again, they need help at wide receiver. The Eagles need help at wide receiver. And I think that would be a nice addition to 21. Number 22, the Vikings have a pick from the Bills. I don't know where that came from, but they have a pick from the Bills. And I think they go to Chase Claypool, another wide receiver from Notre Dame. A lot of receivers in my mock draft, but I think, again, another talented receiver, 1,000 receiving yards, over 10 touchdowns. And the Vikings need it too. Now, there's rumors that OBJ is going to go to the Vikings. I'm not buying him yet because nothing's official yet as of recording this podcast. But if that's not the case, if OBJ does not go to the Vikings, and the Browns are disputing it, they said they're not trading OBJ, Chase Claypool to the Vikings at number 22. Oh, here we go. My friend is going to hate this, and they have been on this. They have been on me for this all week long since our last show. Number 23, the Patriots take Jake Fromm, quarterback from Georgia. And the reason I like Jake Fromm so much is because that he beat out not only Justin Fields, who was the number one quarterback at one point coming out of high school, he also beat out Jacob Eason. And not only that, he took the Bulldogs to the SEC title game last year. What is the problem here? I think the Patriots will move off of Jarrett Stidham after this year. Obviously, Brian Hoyer could retire after this year. And then I think, obviously, the whole Deshaun Watson rumor right now is that he's going to start for the Patriots in 2021. His backup would be Jake Fromm. I mean, there's no problem there. I would love to see that. That would be amazing to see. Jake Fromm, 23 to the Patriots. Take that, Christian. Number 24. It's actually the Saints. I messed this up when I was writing this down. I thought it was the Vikings at 24. It's the Saints at 24. Vikings at 25. I think the Saints take Patrick Quinn, the defensive end from LSU. Again, New Orleans has everything. They don't really need anything. The only thing they need is some luck, because the last few years they've been really unlucky when it comes to the postseason. The Minnesota Miracle, the no call last year, the Kyle Rudolph touchdown to win, the Vikings, whatever. They don't need much, but the addition of Patrick Queen, if you have a defensive end from LSU, that would be beautiful for the Saints. That would just add to their success. At 25, number 26. Excuse me, 24. 25 is the Vikings, and I have them taking Yerg Gross-Matos, the defensive end from Penn State. They lost Everson Griffin. The Vikings have lost a lot. They lost Xavier Rhodes to the Colts. So Everson Griffin's not coming back. And you have to, as you're the Vikings, you have to really stack up on your defensive line. So I think Yerg Gross-Matos from Penn State would be a great pick for them at 25. Go replace Everson Griffin and do it fast. 26, the Dolphins take a pick from the Texans. I do believe this is from the Lamar Miller trade a few years ago. Jonathan Taylor. My favorite running back in this draft. I really like John. I feel like Jonathan Taylor all his years at Wisconsin. I would love to see him go to Miami. They got rid of Kenyon Drake. I question that. I don't know why they did that. They got Jordan Howard. He's mediocre. At best. He's not your number one guy. Jonathan Taylor will be number one guy. And I think the Dolphins go ahead and take him with their third first-round pick at 26. 27, the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks, but everybody knows that the only big problem the Seahawks have is their offensive line. So I think they go get Tristan Wirfs, who was he's like the top-rated O-line by the experts. Tristan Wirfs, the O-lineman, goes to Seattle 27. I think that I'm a bigger fan of Andrew Thomas and Josh Jones myself, and that's why I had them higher. But Tristan Wirfs obviously very talented offensive linemen as well, and Lord knows the Seahawks need offensive line help. There's no question. So that's the Seahawks at 27. 28, the Ravens. I think they go get Mekhi Becton, the offensive line from Louisville, another team that needs an offensive lineman. Now, me and my friends do joke that Lamar Jackson is a running back because he runs so damn much, but that's not what you're supposed to be doing as a quarterback. You can run. You can be like Russell Wilson and run sometimes. You can't be running for your life all the time. And therefore, you need to, if you're Baltimore, you got to work on the offensive line. Mekhi Becton is one of the top offensive linemen in the draft, so go get him. Makes sense, right? Offensive lineman out of Louisville at 28 for the Ravens. Number 29, the Titans, who the Ravens lost to in the divisional round. Yeah, I think they go get another quarterback. And this quarterback I really like, and I thought he would be a better fit for Kansas City, but I don't know if he falls that far. So I'm putting him at 29. Jacob Eason from Washington. I love his arm. He's a great arm. And I said it before. I don't understand why the Titans signed Ryan Tannehill to a 4-year deal. What has he done? Not much. Derrick Henry was supposed to get that 4-year deal. He didn't. He's still looking for the payday. Hopefully he gets it. But either way, I do think that the Titans take a quarterback, Jacob Eason, number 29. Number 30, the Packers take a linebacker to Wisconsin, Zach Bond. I think that would be very nice addition to their defense. They do need another receiver, but I think they wait to see who's available in the second or third round for a receiver. I think they take the linebacker to Wisconsin, Zach Bond, number 31, the 49ers. They take Jedrick Willis, the offensive line from Alabama, another very talented offensive lineman I've been hearing about from Alabama. I've seen film. I like what I see. You got to protect Garoppolo. I know they did, again, any receiver too, but like I said, for number 13, they take a Henry Ruggs, so they already saw that problem. Now the time is right to give Garoppolo the protection he needs, and Jedrick Willis, he's going to do that for him. I don't think there's any question about that. He's going to do that for them. So, number 31, for the 49ers, Jedrick Willis, offensive lineman, Alabama. And the final pick of the first round for the Chiefs, 32. Javon Kinaiw, I don't know if I said that right, Kinaiw, the defensive tackle from South Carolina. I believe that the Chiefs got rid of one of their defensive linemen. I don't know who it was or if they did, but I'm pretty sure they did. So go get yourself a defensive lineman from South Carolina. I've seen he was one of the higher ranked guys when it came to that position. And there you have it. My first round mock draft. And I know my friends are going to give me heat for this, but because of the Jake Fromm thing to the Patriots, that's a big thing for them. They really, because they think I'm crazy. And they also don't think T. Higgins is the first round guy, but Dallas needs a receiver. They need to replace Randall Cobb. So I think that's how they go there. And there you have it. First round mock draft here on the SCU show. The draft is this Thursday on NFL Network, ABC, and all that good stuff. Unfortunately, I have to work on draft night, of course. You know, my schedule was the same at work the last 2 weeks, and now it's changing. I'm so disappointed. But speaking of disappointment, here is an epic rant for you. So the XFL folded. Yeah, they folded. They didn't just, they had originally suspended operations and everything. Yeah, they just folded. They are done. After 5 games. They played 20 total games. The Alliance of American Football, ran by some guy off the streets, played 32. Compared to Vince McMahon, who owns the WWE, a billion-dollar industry, playing 20 games. Oh, but the virus made him cancel. The virus was supposed to make him cancel this season, the rest of this season. They were supposed to come back next year and the years to come. They failed. And, this is the most disappointing thing ever. Like, not even kidding. The whole reason behind them coming back was that they were trying to prove that they were stronger than they were in 2001. In 2001, they even finished the year in 2001. They finished the year in 2001 and then folded. They come back in 2018. They made the announcement that we're coming back. We're going to be stronger than we were before. They failed. They folded after just 5 games. And everyone's going to blame the virus. You can blame the virus for all you want. The reason this failed is because Vince McMahon. And, this is very disappointing, and this is why I'm so upset about it. So it's just absolutely disappointing that you try to come back, be stronger than you were before the first time, and you fail even harder. And therefore, I have 4 words for the man behind the XFL, Mr. Vince McMahon. I hope you're watching this. You are a failure. That's it. There's no way around it. I don't care about the virus. You could have came back next year. You could have kept going. You could have proven us wrong that you were better than you were in 2001. At least in 2001, you even finished the year. You couldn't do that this year. You went 5 games and crumbled. Vince McMahon, you are a failure. There is no way around that. Stay home, everybody. Stay safe. Enjoy the mock draft. Enjoy my mock draft. Enjoy the NFL draft Thursday on ABC and NFL Network and ESPN. That's it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. This has been another great episode of the SCU.